And when Angel Reese comes out and says, she ain't the only one everybody's watching, they're watching me too, they're watching others, a day later she gets ejected.
I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlyn Clark. She thinks she's, the reason why this is all happening here. Caitlyn Clark was going to get eyeballs whether she played against Angel Reese in LSU or not.
After just being destroyed by basketball experts, Angel Reese goes utterly insane. And the WNBA was drastically changed by what Caitlyn Clark did to her. Yes, as everyone is aware, there have been many of players who have gone utterly insane since Caitlyn on the court. It seems as though Caitlyn's simple existence has set off a wave of inane conduct, with people attempting to undermine her through whatever means possible, be it race, class, experience, or talent.
Caitlyn Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. A lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in.
Do you know why people dislike her? Because they can't take the incredible amount of attention and adoration this so-called yesterday's rookie is receiving, despite the fact that they've been working hard for years. And let's be honest, Angel Reese is leading the charge as the loudest trash talker of all. But don't worry, the basketball experts have burned her so thoroughly that she will most likely think twice, if not 3 times, before opening her lips again.
And Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
But they're both rookies, right? There are new youngsters on the block, and both are really competent at what they do. But here's the million-dollar question. Why is Angel Reese so envious of Caitlyn? I mean, they are both skilled. So, what is the deal? Well, my buddy, everything happens for a reason. And this one's all about the spotlight. Caitlyn and Angel are as different as a seasoned chef and a line cook. They're both in the kitchen, but only one is preparing Michelin star meals.
Angel break these rookie records has been phenomenal, but when it comes to Indiana and Chicago, Indiana is the more complete and together basketball team on both sides of the ball, which makes them a dangerous team in the playoffs. Chicago still fighting to hold on to that playoff spot.
Let us break it down. Caitlyn Clark's stats are more than just good. They're the kind of numbers that make you do a double take. We're talking about 17.1 points a game, 8.2 assists, and 4.9 rebounds. This girl is not simply playing basketball, she is changing the rule book. She's a triple threat, a one-woman army on the court who can turn a game on its head simply by showing up. Now, Angel Reese is no slouch. She averages 13.5 points and 11.9 rebounds a game, which is not to be taken lightly. But when you compare her stats to Caitlyn's, it's like taking a knife to a gunfight. The numbers do not lie, and they tell us that Angel has a game. Caitlyn's in a whole different league.
Caitlyn Clark is the reason why everybody has an opinion on what happened in that game. It's Caitlyn Clark. Now, do I think it was assault?
And guess what? This did not sit well with our beloved Angel. No, not one bit. She felt like she was stuck in Caitlyn's shadow. Angel let her emotions to take over. And oh, did she make a mistake. She began to allow the green-eyed monster known as jealousy to consume her. And before you knew it, she was exhibiting behaviors that had nothing to do with healthy competition. As Dan Patrick said,
"You're not coming in and dominating our game."
the high or low point of this drama, depending on your perspective, came during a vital game when Angel, plainly frustrated, decided to channel her inner WWE wrestler. She used the "you can't see me" hand signal. Yep, the one made famous by John Cena, which he tossed directly at Caitlyn. Here you go, if you missed it by chance. Now, doing that in the heat of the moment may appear to be a power play, but it was actually a desperate attempt to gain attention. This game made headlines not only because of what happened on the court, it became notorious for the turmoil that ensued. Reese's taunt was like a large flashing neon sign stating, "I can't keep up with you." So, here's a diversion. And let me tell you, the basketball world did not let it go. Legends, experts, and pretty much everyone with a Twitter account commented on Reese's little stunt. They didn't only regard it as a cheap shot. They saw it as proof that Reese was more interested in tearing down a better player than in stepping up her own game. Here is what Holly Rowe added.
Yeah, I'm really frustrated by this. This is such a distraction. And I was, obviously going through social media last night. And I have a question for you. I really am genuinely interested in this because it seemed like the people that had the biggest problem with the trash talking.
Like anything on the internet, it went viral with hot takes, hashtags, and memes, all focused on that 1 second. Not in the way Reese undoubtedly hoped, but nevertheless, how she can't appear trending. Rather than uniting around her, they used it as an opportunity to highlight how far behind Caitlyn she had fallen. It came to represent both Reese's annoyance and Caitlyn's cool-headedness. Angel was occupied with trying to penetrate Caitlyn's mind. Caitlyn didn't even care that she was winning the game, but still.
I was disappointed that Angel used that moment. You just won the national title. Use that moment with your team. Don't do it for that. You got the ultimate scoreboard there. But it felt like she was tracking her down to put it in her face, and Caitlyn Clark, to her credit.
But to be honest, I thought Caitlyn's response was the ultimate power play. She didn't need to clap back or partake in the trash talk. Her game spoke volumes, which was all she needed. Her performances are just incredible. We're talking record-breaking, expectation-defying, highlight reel stuff. Then there came the game on August 30th, 2024. That is my ultimate favorite, and if you missed it, you've missed history. Clark scored 31 points and handed out 12 assists against the Chicago Sky. This wasn't simply another day at the workplace.
That Caitlyn Clark is the golden goose. She's the cash cow. And wherever she goes, ratings follow. The WNBA draft, the doubleheader to open the NBA season. Ratings. I'm going to remind y'all that in the 28-year history of the WNBA, only 9 players in the league's history have eclipsed on-court earnings of $1 million.
This was a huge statement, as it was the first time in WNBA history that such numbers were achieved in a regular season game. And she did it as if it were just another Tuesday. And the Rookie of the Year discussion ended before it ever began. Thanks to Caitlyn's incredible accomplishments. Her score? Top-notch. What about her playmaking? Unmatched. And her total impact on the game was so significant that everyone else paled in comparison. Even when Angel Reese attempted to throw shade by mumbling about how statistics don't tell the real story. The figures were simply too loud to ignore. And Stefan's statements are not without reason. Clark averages 17.1 points per game and 8.2 assists. And for a rookie, those are some impressive big league numbers. Compare that to Reese, who, despite her 13.5 points and 11.9 rebounds, can't match Caitlyn's all-around performance.
And Angel Reese has figured out a way to market herself and to be marketable. And to some degree, albeit a small degree maybe, utilize Caitlyn Clark's presence to pull it off. This is not an insult. This is acknowledging Angel Reese was smart.
It's like comparing a good B+ to an A++, and everyone knows it. Reese's attempts to downplay it just served to highlight Caitlyn's superiority. Now, let's talk about the impact. Caitlyn Clark is producing a tsunami at all levels of basketball. Her emergence has sparked unprecedented interest in the WNBA, with record-breaking viewership and item sales. She's a viral hit, both on the court and on social media. Her highlights are everywhere, attracting people who may not have previously considered women's basketball. Clark is not only a footballer, she's a movement that inspires a new generation to dream big and achieve even more. Meanwhile, what about Angel Reese's trajectory?
And when Angel Reese comes out and says, she ain't the only one everybody's watching, they're watching me too, they're watching others, a day later she gets ejected.
She started off with a lot of promise, but her on-court antics have devolved into a catastrophe. The outcry was quick and nasty. Charles Barkley, never one to sugarcoat things, called Reese out on Inside the NBA, labeling her actions as immature and unsportsmanlike. Ouch. And Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't hold back either, reminding everyone that trash language is only acceptable if it's backed up on the court. Caitlyn accomplished it easily, but Reese did not. The whole jealousy thing became a major discussion point. Everyone began assuming that Reese's actions was motivated by the hard fact that she couldn't keep up with Caitlyn. Reese's jabs at Clark just widened the gap between them. The more Reese sought to bring Caitlyn down, the more she exposed her own flaws. What about public opinion? It has done a complete 180 on Reese. Fans who previously applauded for her are now turning their backs, fed up with her behavior. Social media, which should have been her playground, has become a war in which she is rapidly losing ground. The hashtags are no longer in her favor. Let's just say the memes aren't very flattering. Reese's attempts at damage management, including apologies and explanations, have been met with side-eye and mistrust. The verdicts are in, and it doesn't look good for Reese. The public has spoken, and they are no longer buying what she is selling.